I'm William Phillips. I'm the senior pastor here at First United Methodist Church, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and this is Jonathan Harris, our associate.
Please join us for traditional
And before you were, I heard this on ESPN, they called you Goodwill Hunter and Big Game Hunter. So you killed a couple of elephants. So I am not going to introduce Hunter to you. I'm going to have someone introduce him that knows him much better than I do, and who also knows the rest of the family. And she didn't know that I was going to ask this. Miss Clemens, will you come up and introduce your family?
Buddy, I can't believe you did this to me. I'm not very good at impromptu. Okay, you just want me to introduce them.
Yeah, introduce your family.
All right. I will introduce my family. My son-in-law, Tim Renfrow. Stand so they'll know who you are, Tim. My daughter, Suzanne Renfrow. My grandson, Ayers Renfrow. I'm going to skip one. Jordan Renfrow, my grandson, and his wife, Ellie, excuse me, Ellie, I'm sorry, I apologize. There are too many of them.
You're doing great.
Another grandson, Cole Renfrow, and Hunter Renfrow, and his girlfriend, Cammie Martin. I understand that there was a whole page in one of the Sports Illustrated of Cammie. And his cousin, Kenneth Swain. Kenneth, would you? And are these friends of yours here? Okay. Those are friends. Joy Renfrow, she's the grandbaby. And then a niece of mine, Vanessa Suggs. And then you know my husband, Harold. Okay. And it's wonderful to have this opportunity to be with you this morning and share. And I'm just so looking forward to Hunter and what he has to share with us today.
I think today we're all Clemson Tigers and Sockasty Braves. Okay. Now the way we're going to do this, the youth have questions that we're going to ask Hunter, and we get to listen to Hunter's answers to these questions. Okay, Hunter, would you come on up?
Good. I got.
You got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Jonathan came back. Hey, Hunter. Good, thanks.
It's like a press conference or something.
And there's a test at the end.
Is it a test? Okay. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me good? All right.
All right, Hunter, we have the first question's first question. Besides football, did you play any other sports? And then why did you focus on football?
Yeah, so growing up, I mean, I went to a lot of the Myrtle Beach schools, the primary, intermediate, elementary school, and so right down the road. And I mean, I played all sports growing up. Kickball, I can remember playing kickball out on the Miracle League field and when I was at the intermediate school. And then as far as high school and middle school, I played basketball, played baseball, and played football. And I didn't know until my senior year if I wanted to play baseball or football in college. But football is just something that I've always enjoyed and I've always been passionate about. And so that's why I went with football.
Well, I know Coach Daugherty's in the room. He was my coach in high school, and he probably pulled you towards baseball instead of football.
Yeah,
didn't he?
him and Coach Hudson back there. I don't know if Coach Moore is here, but Coach Daugherty actually coached my dad in college. and then got to coach me in high school, so that was pretty neat.
Well, I'd ask you, he actually had funerals for lost baseballs, you know. Yeah. I remember. Okay.
Awesome. I probably won't be quite as wordy as Buddy, only because I haven't lived here a long time, so I don't know quite as much about people as Buddy does. But so you grew up on the sidelines watching your dad coach and all that. So what did you learn, and what were the important lessons?
Yeah, just I have a great father. If y'all don't know, I remember. Yeah, give a round of applause for that. But I can remember being in the front yard growing up, and my mom would be trying to throw me passes. I like to tell that, and that's why I became a decent receiver, is because I have to go and retrieve my mom's balls whenever they're everywhere and stuff like that. But my dad, he had us. He coached me at Socastee, and we ran the triple option, and he'd have us out there blocking trees and running the offense out in the front yard, and so. I enjoyed that, and that was fun to me at the time. But just little things, just work ethic, perseverance, everything you need to be a great player and a great person in life is something he taught me, and I really appreciate that.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, tell us about your faith. How big a role has that played throughout your journey? I mean, it's been complicated. I mean, you had a full walk on and turned that down. The full ride, and then went to walk on at Clemson.
Yeah, faith is huge in my life, and that's why I've been able to stay so grounded and just believe that I can do stuff, because I like to say that it's not me doing it, but it's God doing it through me, and so I try to stay close to God and read the Word every day and stay close to Him, because at any point everything can change, and you never know what life's going to throw at you. But as long as you have that stronghold in life, then you're going to be grounded and you're going to be all right.
So speaking of that scholarship to App State, you were getting a full scholarship there, but you chose Clemson. I'm excited about that. but why? What was the draw for choosing nothing over a full ride?
It was a number of things. One, I think I really like the leadership of Coach Sweeney. Coach Sweeney's a special guy. As many of y'all know, he's a Christian. And I knew he was going to do things the right way. And so that's one thing that I knew, even if I never played football, even if I got hurt and couldn't play anymore, that I'd be safe with him and I'd enjoy going to school there. And I know Coach Hudson back there, I remember my senior year, he was telling me, go somewhere where even if you never played football, you'd enjoy going to school. And so that's something that I always kept close to me. And my brother and my mom went there, my sister went there, and so that's some things. And also I just knew if I went to App State and I did well, then I was always wondering if I could be at the top level, and I always wanted to play with the best. And so that's kind of what drove me to Clemson, and just that desire to play with the best and try to be the best.
Amen.
Great.
All right, what role does accountability play in football and in your walk with Christ?
Yeah, it's huge. You have to get those. You have to get those people in your life who can keep you accountable, who aren't afraid to tell you what's wrong when it's wrong, and to hold you accountable. And football, it's you're slacking off in the weight room, then someone's going to call you out. And that's one thing that I've noticed in our team this year, is just the accountability, and that's why we were successful, is because we weren't afraid to hurt each other's feelings. Sometimes you got to hurt each other's feelings to get what you want in life. And as long as you do it the right way, it could be an impact. And same thing in life. I have a great girlfriend and a great roommates that hold me accountable. And so if I kind of get out of line, if I get a little too big-headed, then they'll push me back in line.
So roles of accountability. How about the role of your parents? You said your mom helped, threw passes out in the yard for you. Dad was a great coach. But what other roles do your parents play for you?
Yeah, just unbelievable. I can't thank them enough for just teaching me what I know. And I think one thing that I've learned from them is servant leadership. And as far as they never want to be at the headline, they never want to be out front. They kind of want to be behind the scenes and serve people. And that's one thing that I've taken from them. And I can just, my mom, for example, we have FCA every year. we have a retreat down in Garden City, and she's in charge of all the kitchens and making sure everybody's fed. And so she's not up at the front talking, but she's making sure she does what she needs to do. And my dad, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so my dad was working, and my mom would always part of her, I guess. I'm trying to think of the word. So my dad would be able to give to FCA and stuff like that. My mom would keep the kids at home. And so just behind the scenes stuff and servant leadership is what I took from them.
Awesome. Servant leadership's a great thing.
Yeah.
Well, now that you are a national celebrity,
You say that.
what's your biggest challenge, and what do you do to manage the challenge?
It's a good question. I think just staying grounded, just try not to get too big-headed. Just knowing that, like I said earlier, everything can be taken from you just like God gives it to you. And so just staying grounded and just knowing that really, tomorrow you could have a tragedy in your life. You're blessed with so much, and so at any point it can be taken from you.
So this is a good question for all of us, but especially for our youth. How important is it for you to have friends who are Christians?
Yeah. So like I was saying, my roommates, Sawyer, Clay, and Robert. I know Sawyer grew up, and his dad's Chuck Jordan from Conway High School, and Robert Jolly, whose dad is from Carolina Forest, now at Durham, the baseball coach. It's very important because it's easy to get out of line. It's easy. The Bible says that Satan comes in deceptive ways, and he comes to kill and destroy. And so he sneaks up on you fast. And so if you don't have those people in your life that kind of help you and navigate through life with you, then you can get lost. So.
All right, you hear that, guys? And you big guys, too?
Clemson ran 99 offensive plays. And one of the Alabama linebackers said he had never hurt that badly the next day. You were in for 98 of those plays, I think. And what was going through your mind right before that last play? Because I went back and looked at it. You ran the same play in the Ohio State game.
Exactly. Yeah,
right.
I did. Yeah. We practiced it all the time. What I think that was cool this whole year is it was a year of second chances. And it's not that we were given second chances. I feel like we earned the second chance. Whether it was we went down to Phoenix where we lost last year and won in that stadium and got to celebrate in that locker room, and then we got to play Alabama again, which we lost to the year before, and we were down in the fourth quarter. So last year we were up in the fourth quarter by double digits, and this year we were down by double digits going into the fourth quarter, and we won the game. And so that was a neat experience because you don't always get second chances, and so that was pretty neat for us. And then going to the last play, we run it so much. And one of the things that we practiced in the offseason last year is I ran a corner route in the national championship last year that it was a big play, and Deshaun overthrew me a little bit. And so it's something we do over and over again, but we needed to this year. We run that same play. It was basically the same play we ran last year, but we hit it this time, and that just goes to show.
In the OSU game, you just missed the goal line by about a yard.
Yeah.
You dove for it and just missed it by a yard.
Yeah.
Same play.
Yeah, same play.
So I want to piggyback on my last question and ask, how do you stay true to your faith and still have good relationships with non-Christian friends?
Yeah, there's definitely you have to balance it for sure because, you don't want to just have friends that are Christians because you can't reach any lost people.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't have just lost people as friends because then you don't want to be pulled down if like I was saying earlier, Satan works in deceptive ways. And so you have to have the right balance. And it's different for everyone. But as long as you have that balance, you're involved in a good small group and good Bible study, then it gives you freedom to have those friends. And we all have them and know who they are. So.
Well, is it difficult to balance sports, schoolwork, social life, and dog life? I understand you now have a dog.
I do.
Okay.
I got a puppy, yep. Yeah, it's difficult, but like I said, if you stay grounded in your faith, everything works out. It's not too bad as long as you put your priorities in order. And that's one thing I learned from Coach Sweeney is you have to have faith, then family, then football. and the 3 F's there. So as long as you keep Jesus as your number one priority, then everything falls into place. And it's amazing how simple it is in such a complicated life, that you can have it if you keep those priorities in order.
So how do you set your goals? I mean, I have a hard time sometimes setting goals. So give me some advice.
I'm definitely, I wouldn't say I set goals. I definitely dream a lot. Whether it's riding in the car, I'm dreaming all the time, just kind of in my mind, playing back over and over again what I want to accomplish. And it might not be tangible goals. It might just be an experience that I want to experience, like the national championship. I always wanted to play in the national championship. I always wanted to score. And so for me, I know I would practice when my senior year of high school, after the season, when I was getting ready for Clemson, I would practice running the slant route to win against Florida State or the national championship, whatever it may be. And so just seeing it in your mind and going for it is kind of my goals, I guess.
Good. I'm in good company. I'm a dreamer too. So
After you scored that touchdown at the end of the game against Alabama, you nonchalantly just tossed the ball to the referee, and I thought that was pretty cool. But what have you learned about teamwork?
It goes back to accountability. Teamwork is just holding each other accountable. I mean, it's pretty cool that sports gives you a way to have such good teamwork with everyone, and just teaches you all about teamwork, whether it's work ethic or serving each other. It's just cool how relevant sports are to life. And whenever I get out of sports and get in the business world or whatever I may do, I'll still be able to have those relationships with those guys, and so it's pretty cool.
We think you're going to be the head coach at Clemson one day, so.
We'll see. We'll see.
So speaking of teamwork, have you ever had any difficulties with any of your teammates, and how do you handle it?
Yeah, I mean, you always have difficulties with your teammates. Sometimes they don't always believe what you believe, and like I was saying earlier, you have to have that balance for sure. I'm trying to think of any examples. I had a teammate steal from me, steal some money in my locker one time, but I caught him in the act, and we had a come to Jesus meeting a little bit. But I forgave him. I didn't tell anybody, so I just try to handle it how God would handle it, and my parents would handle it. So
I like that. I actually like the fact that you didn't go out and say, "Hey, did you hear so and so stole from me?" And I like that you handled it yourself.
Yeah, well, a large part of it too. He was a lot bigger than I was, so I couldn't do that.
I don't know, someone bigger than me, I might have went and told somebody, but you still handle it, so that's pretty awesome.
It got real quick.
Yeah, really fast.
What motivates you, both on and off the field? Is it the same motivation off the field as it is on the field, or is it different?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it all comes full circle. And it's what I said earlier, my relationship with Jesus, and it's faith, family, and football in that order. So what motivates me is just my relationship with Jesus, and just knowing that football is just a game. It really is. It's funny how people get so excited over people throwing a ball and running it down, and that's basically all you do. We work 12 months a year to run after a ball and block guys bigger than you, and so it's just funny how that works, and knowing that football can be taken from you so quickly, and just living for something greater than football and greater than yourself.
And enjoy the moment.
And enjoying the moment, exhausting the moment. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Best advice so far in your young life that you've ever been given?
That's a good one. So my mom told me, I don't know, my mom and dad maybe, I don't know. But I remember when I was going off to college, they said, if you ever get to a crossroad where you have to study for a test or read the Bible, then read the Bible. And because, I mean, school is very important, but it's not nearly as important as your relationship with Jesus. And so I've always tried to hold true to that, and whenever I get in a crossroad, then open up the Bible a little bit and read it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I think we know the answer to this, but I need to ask the question because they've written it down here. Where do you draw your inspiration? From whom or from what?
Well, I think we all know the answer to that. just my relationship with Jesus, like I said, my parents, just all the coaches, everything that's kind of brought me to where I am. I'm in debt to them for sure. Everyone who helped raise me, and so I just want to make them proud. And I know a lot of y'all out there help raise me as well, whether it's little things. And so I feel like I'm forever indebted to y'all. And so, yeah, that's where I draw my inspiration from.
Okay.
So do you have a saying or a motto that you live by?
It's seasonal. One thing that I've
It's okay. That works.
one thing that I really it's been hitting home with me is the separations and the preparation. That's something Coach Sweeney always says, whether it's in football or in life. I can't go out there and play 98 plays or whatever I played without preparing for it first. And same thing with your walk with Christ. You got to put yourself in situations. You got to prepare for those situations that you'll be put in with your friends, with people that are lost before you get put in that situation. And so when you're ready, and you'll be ready if you prepare for it.
When you saw the pass coming at you, did your mind say, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it? Or did it say, catch it, catch it, catch it? Or did it say anything at all?
No, yeah. Well, we do it so much. I mean, we ran that play hundreds of times in practice that it's just second nature. In high school, I thought playing in front of 80,000 people, I was not even going to be able to tie my shoe on the field. I'd be so nervous. But we do it so much, and you really play for your brothers on the field, and you play for your parents and your family back home, and you just play for so many people that you don't think about that. You just think about getting your job done and just being just doing them a good service by catching the ball and scoring and winning the game.
There you go. You did it well.
I was watching some interviews after the game, and in one of them you said that Dabo serves our hearts instead of our talents. Mm-hmm. How does he do that?
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, Coach Sweeney is a special guy, and I have a lot of respect for him. And as far as serving our hearts and not our talents, he really doesn't care if we're that good at football. I know that sounds weird, and that doesn't sound like a football coach, but he really is a special man, and he knows where he come from. He knows who he is, and that's Jesus. And so how he serves our hearts is if we mess up on a play, he's not going to demean us because we messed up on the play. He'll demean us for our efforts. He'll demean it for our not caring enough. And so he really does just serve our hearts, and it's kind of untangible. If that's a word, intangible. I don't know if that's a word, but
it's close enough.
Close enough. But he's a special guy.
Very good.
When you fail, to whom do you go first?
What do you
If
mean?
you dropped that pass
Yeah.
during that game and you didn't win the championship, to whom would you go first?
Me and Jesus would have some conversations for sure. Football's. It's definitely such a small part of my life. I'm not going to let it define me.
Good.
And so if I drop that pass, even coming in as a walk-on, I feel like I don't owe them anything. And so if I dropped that pass, it would have definitely hurt because I would have felt bad for my brothers and teammates on the team. But it's just a game. It's a silly game. So that's how I look at it, and don't put too much pressure on it.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. Just a silly game.
It is.
So, we've said this, but you've alluded in a couple different. But what was it really like winning the national championship? What was that really like?
It's definitely hard to put into words. You play Xbox your whole life and win the national championship on Xbox, and it's not quite the same feeling. It's just overwhelming. It's just something that you'll live with the rest of your life, and something that you're so blessed to be a part of it. A lot of things had to come into place. Maybe if Coach Sweeney wasn't at Clemson, I would have never been a part of the team. If if Michael Williams doesn't get hurt last year in the season opener, maybe I never would have gotten the opportunity to play. And so just blessed to be a part of it, and just know how many people helped me get to where I was at. And so it's not necessarily just a national championship for me. It's for everyone who helped raise me and everyone who supported and just everyone who loved me through it.
Before I ask you the next question, when you play Xbox, are you Clemson?
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
Yeah. Never South Carolina.
I'm not going there. Have you thought about where you're going to be 10 years from now after Clemson?
I've thought a little bit about it. So I switched from engineering to economics because engineering
Wow.
is really hard.
Okay,
Yeah.
you want to bet?
My dad was an economics major. My brother's an economics major. It just felt right. But after Clemson, I want to maybe try to play in the NFL and see how that goes for as long as I can. And then I don't know. I kind of want to come back to Clemson, maybe be a GA, and see if I want to coach. A GA is someone who they pay for your your master's, and you can come back and help out with the team and see if you want to coach. And so a lot of coaches get their start, and either that or just work in a company and kind of work my way up. I always thought that was fun. Just anything where I can serve people and just have fun and just build relationships and just have fun doing it.
I think you are.
So do you have any words of encouragement for our youth and even our adults as they pursue their dreams?
Yeah, just don't let anybody ever tell you no. Just dream it. You have to dream it before you can achieve it. And I got something right there. Y'all messing with me?
Yeah, they're messing with you.
Yeah, I mean, you have to dream it, and you have to have fun with it. Don't go after something that your heart's not in and you're not passionate about. And as long as you keep Jesus at the forefront of everything you do and just keep your priorities in order, then you're going to achieve what God wants you to achieve. You don't always have to achieve what you want to achieve. I mean, of course, I got blessed because I wanted to win a national championship at Clemson, and God blessed me with that. But even if we would have lost last game, God's brought me so far, and He's done more for me than I could ever imagine. So it's His plan, not my plan.
All right, you shared in your interview after the national championship that all glory goes to God. And why is that important to you? You've shared it many different ways, but why is that important to you and for you to celebrate that?
Yeah, because I know without Him I'm nothing, and I'm not very special or anything without Him. He's the reason why I've been able to do what I've done, and the reason why I have such a great family that I can fall back to. I think everything starts with God and it ends with God, and like the Bible says, the Alpha and Omega. And so without Him, life is kind of pointless. There's no reason to live. I mean, we're just out here living, and so it's very important. And yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, is there anything that you just want to share that we haven't covered in questions? Do you have any final thoughts, or anything you just want to share with the youth here, the adults? I mean, we covered a lot, but
trying to think.
any final words of wisdom from Hunter?
Yeah, well, just appreciate all the support. I know this church has done a lot for me. Well, I didn't necessarily grow up in it. My mom went here. My grandparents go here. My brother got married here. My parents actually got married here as well. And so this church meant a lot to me. And just keep doing what y'all been doing. And that's serving people and loving people. And I appreciate everything and allowing me to speak up here. So.
Would you feel comfortable? Okay. I asked him if he'd feel comfortable answering a few of your questions from the floor, and he said yes. So okay, over here, do we have one question in this section that didn't?
This is a press conference.
Yeah. Okay, we have one up here.
Comment, Miss Culliver.
Miss Colliver, okay. That's awesome. I'm trying to think. Really? Was it good? What year was it? 2007. Wow. I would've been-
Trick questions.
Trick questions. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, here? Yes.
I got you. I do got you. I'll get your autograph. I'll give my autograph to you.
How about here? Anyone here have a question? Yeah. Oh, this is a setup.
Who's your favorite brother?
That's no comment on that one. But if I had to say, it'd be heirs. Just because y'all made me pick my, or act like I was picking my nose.
Okay, how about over here? Question?
Go right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes.
Why am I not wearing orange? I mean, I've been wearing it for 6 months straight, so I kind of need a little break.
It's done.
A little break, yeah. A little break.
Got one
We have a
back
question.
there.
Mr. Bellamy?
So I played quarterback in high school. My dad was the coach, and played quarterback in high school. Played safety. Played some running back. I played quarterback whenever my brother was quarterback his senior year, my sophomore year. I played a little wide receiver, but I'd never really played until I got to Clemson, and that just goes to show you how good the coaches we have at Clemson to take a quarterback like me and transform him to a receiver.
One more. Up here. Norman?
Talk about your time at Socracy and what it was like to go from one school to a rival school and how you dealt with all that and how, as you've grown up,
Yeah.
how it's all affected you.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I think it's cool because I went to Myrtle Beach when I was little, and then I transferred to Socracy because my parents in middle school, and so I got I had a great variety of friends that I could pull from all the different schools, and I still have friends from Myrtle Beach that I grew up with, and Mark Cavan, Heath Butler. I know Heath's mom's here, the Butlers, and so I still talk to them, and it's been cool. It's been cool. Yeah.
All right, we thank you for being. Oh, we have one more.
Is it hard to get up after you get weighed down to
Yeah. A little
Whirlpool.
bit.
Whirlpool.
Whirlpool, yeah, Whirlpool for sure. Whirlpool, a lot of Whirlpool, a lot of cold tubs. But that new facility we have, it's got a lot of different training stuff, so that's pretty neat that we got.
Hunter, we thank you for being here, and
Not happening. They're not standing for you.
Thank you again so much for joining us this morning. If you'd like more information about our services, please visit our website, which is FUMCMB.org, or call our church office at 843-448-7164. Thank you.